Underground World News Live here on this September 4th, 2024. Good evening. Much love to everybody out there. Let's get a mic check real quick. Much love to everybody out there. Kathy, Tacos, Kev Bar, Hoodie Ross. Anyone that's sharing the stream, getting it out there in front of eyes that I can't reach. Appreciate it to the fullest. Thank you, E-Fits. Good to see everybody out there. Hope all is going good. Thank you for the feedback, Gabe, Hitman. And yeah, we got plenty to cover. If you need to get anything to me, dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. And if you want to get my attention there in the chat, just at me, at dabu77. Hopefully I see it. I try to keep one eye on the chat, one eye on the stories here. Everything we're going through. Got a lot happening. Meat Puppet in the house. Thank you, Gypsy, Tammy. Much love. Shout outs to all the pure bloods out there. Everyone worldwide. So, yeah. Plenty to touch on here. I'm gonna start off here with this shooting real quick. An update. I seen there was two different shooting incidents here this evening. One was out of New York. It looks like a teacher got shot in the hand. I didn't see much of anything else on that. The other story is out of Georgia. High school shooting. Authorities say a 14-year-old suspect will be charged with murder after killing 4 people and injuring 9 others. Dahlonega in the house. Much love, ambience. Yeah, I've been to Dahlonega myself, gold hunting. But this unfortunate event taking place in Georgia. Chris Hosey came out and gave an update saying that this took place at Appalachia High School and that the individual responsible for this shooting is Colt Gray, 14-year-old who was found alive. He's in police custody. He will be charged with murder and handled as an adult. They say they're still trying to gather the facts in this. A very active investigation. Anytime you have a shooting like this, to this degree, it raises a ton of questions. And a lot of times we see the shooter get eliminated. So we've actually got one that survives. Think back of one that survived, like James Holmes. These guys you'll see from here on out getting wheeled into a courtroom. Most of the time in a straitjacket or something like that and looking like they're out of their mind. They don't even know where they're at. We don't know here. This is a very young individual, 14 years old with this, and we have no motive or anything like that. Looks like 2 students and 2 teachers are among the dead. So a rest in peace to the souls lost in this. The Broken says, shocker, the FBI had a file on him. Well, you know, nothing like that would surprise me these days. Whenever we have innocent individuals out there getting caught up in this, though, it's horrific. You just don't want to see innocent people getting taken out. Especially like this. On the flip side of that here, I've got a couple updates. Well, we've got a judge actually ruling in Illinois that the public transit firearm carry ban that was put into place by the unconstitutional Illinois as it is that it is unconstitutional, that the ban itself was unconstitutional. And this went back and forth, and the court found that the defendants failed to meet their burden to show an American tradition of firearm regulation at the time of the founding in our Constitution that would stop all this. Basically saying that the people have a right to conceal carry for self-defense in the CTA and metro areas. So if they got to go into these dangerous areas, they're like sitting ducks if they can't defend themselves. And they're trying to say, all this is unconstitutional. So the judge was citing a Supreme Court decision, the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin, which found that a New York law was unconstitutional in terms of stopping the people from being able to defend themselves. So, anytime they try to strip you of your right of defense, you're a sitting duck. To think back, I think it was one of the train stations that the attack took place in the UK years ago, at maybe the 7/7 attacks. People sitting in there can't protect themselves, can't get out, can't go nowhere. They're sitting ducks, especially if the train's moving or anything like that. Everyone's just stuck inside as this thing's moving. You got a madman in there. There's nowhere to go. Potentially can't even get to the next car because the doors are shut or anything like that. I would rather be in an area where the chances are very high that someone sitting on there is armed to protect themselves. Could be a little old lady. And she pulls it out and she blasts him, put him down, and she ends the ordeal and saves a lot of lives. It's just as simple as that. So where I'm from, in Kentucky, you're allowed to carry and to protect yourself. We have constitutional carry here. And I just think that you should be able to protect yourself in almost every situation. Unless there's an agreement that you're entering a place where there's going to be no weapons or things like that. And you're good with that, but still, you got to remember, anytime you enter a place that has people disarmed, they're all sitting ducks. I mean, they better have some of the best security around, and these days, I still don't trust it. So yeah, and thank you for sharing the links out there, tacos. So I just wanted to say that that's a win for the people in this instance. You don't see a whole lot of them, but we had one in NY, and then now them saying that this ban is unconstitutional in Illinois. I personally can't stand the laws that have ever been in place in that state. Anytime I had to go traveling and go west, instead of passing through Illinois, I'd go down and around it. Because it's that much of a headache. They'll be trying to stop out-of-staters and trying to target you and ripping through your car on the side of the road, and then they find your weapon that you have a right to carry and you have a permit to carry, but they're going to say that they don't recognize it. And next thing you know, they're going to try to take you to jail and all this other stuff. It's ridiculous. I'm not. That's like a commie state. Like I said, I'll go around it. I won't even go through it. It's like enemy territory in many instances. When you don't respect my right to defend myself, that's garbage. It's called reciprocity across states. I like being able to roll, go up to Ohio, go down to Tennessee or wherever else and not be bothered by law enforcement or even be a target in that matter. But Illinois has always been like that. And it doesn't, does it do any good? Really? As you're going to see in some of the stories here later, I don't think so. Does it stop the most fully automatic weapons that you could find in the world from getting into the hands of individuals in the streets of Chicago? No, it does not. It does not. So Illinois has all these bans in place, or tries to strip the everyday person, setting them up for disaster because the bad guys always get the guns. I said in the past, we've seen in the hood, it's been caught on film where these guys will go out in the morning, look in the alleyway, and there will be crates sitting on the ground as an all blacked out vehicle peels off, and they'll bust open these crates and it'll be full of automatic weapons. Yeah, fueling the whole thing. They just go dump crates of weapons, and it's been known, into the hoods, making sure they've got weaponry to spray each other. As you're going to see here in a bit, I think the tide's about to change, though. And I've got one more here. This article is saying how the CDC and the FBI have been working to hide data showing that shootings stopped by the good guys, happen. They happen frequently. Good guys with guns stopping the bad guys, and they don't want people to see this or realize this. So they've been conspiring here en masse to remove this information. And there's always censorship going on out there, left and right. But the stats are showing that when you have a good guy around, so to speak, or someone armed righteously, law-abiding citizen, that a good 7 out of 10 times, they can stop the event quickly. So if there's a bad guy trying to just walk around cat people, 7 out of 10 times, they're going to be able to stop the incident. I like those odds, if you ask me. Yeah, man. So it's all about the state that you're in, I guess. The laws that they've got. And years ago, we went up to Virginia for a big rally, a big gun rally took place there. And my brothers and sisters over in Virginia don't have the same rights as we do over here in Kentucky. For instance, you could roll up with your weaponry, if you're legal, and go right up into our capital. You can't even step onto the Capitol grounds with a weapon in Virginia. So it's like the exact opposite. So we went up there and we rallied in hopes that that would change. Every state's different in their own little ways. All right, I'm going to shift gears here. Kick this off here with an update on what's going on in space real quick. And really, the biggest activity happened on the far side of the sun. Massive explosion, definitely would have registered some kind of X flare. It was massive, but they don't register them if they're not facing Earth, so to speak. Where they can see the explosion. There's a lot of details to it, I guess, but right now, we have a ton of sunspots. And the last time that sunspot counts were this high, the sun was winding up to spit out one of its strongest X flares ever recorded. What is it? That's an X45. So X45 is the biggest X flare to ever be emitted from the sun. And you see these two big bands? This is what I'm talking about all the time when I tell you that the sun only has two bands where sunspots pop up. You will never see them in the north and the south poles of the sun. They're always on these two bands. And the lower band being a little bit more active or stronger, so to speak. But yeah, that's what it looks like. So when you see these sunspots all the time going around, they're traveling around pretty much on two different rings around the sun. That's how it works. Most people just don't even realize this. But yeah, when you start to look at the sun, it too has characteristics that are unique and all that. But nothing heading our way in terms of X flares at the moment. I'll update if we see any activity, as well as earthquake activity. What I do want to speak on here real quick is what seems to be some heavy manipulation in the weather pattern out in the Atlantic. And this is what drives all the hurricanes. You may recall that they were calling for a strong hurricane season. Strong hurricane season is what they was calling for. Throwing all this data and all this stuff out there to try to back it up. But in the end, there's nothing. So, hold on just 1 second. All right, I had to check something there real quick. It looks like, here it is. Get a refresh on this page. I want to show you this model. Normally where these hurricanes are spinning up and coming in, they come in right here. They catch this energy coming off of Africa and they start to come in. Now, this most recent one shows that there is a larger system that could come in this way, but what some are speculating could happen here is that a storm of the century type thing could happen. When you don't see the energy drop out like it's supposed to and it's just sitting out there swirling, these swirls, and we've seen this before, they can come together and form a monster storm. We've seen two come together in the past and feed into one big storm, which mainly stayed out to sea. But if this was to happen, 2 or 3 storms come together as one monster storm. It'd be the stuff you see in movies. But the way that it sets up is just like this. That's the scary part about it. And it starts with heavy manipulation out here in the Atlantic and bouncing around these systems. So we're going to have to just wait and see what happens here in the next week or so. But it's right now that we should be seeing the height of these storms. So what's going to happen with the energy? I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Some people are saying that the models no longer work. They can't figure it out. The tropics are broken. They can't predict nothing. And they're saying that because they said we were going to have an overactive hurricane season, and we have not seen it. So just saying, big storm pops up here in the coming weeks. Everything's there to bring it. All right, let's move into some financials here real quick. Wanted to point out and let you visually see the 50 most valuable companies in the world. They represent some 34 trillion, I think, 34 trillion in market cap altogether. And Apple at the top. So the biggest company in the world at the moment per market cap, 3.5 trillion is Apple. Then you've got Nvidia, which has risen big time, and I believe will continue to do big numbers, especially with everything with the chips and technology. And Microsoft as well, 3.1 trillion. Then you've got Alphabet up there, Amazon, Meta, Broadcom, and a bunch of other ones. Really, people don't. ASML, you don't hear about them every day. You got Tencent up there. AstraZeneca up there. Johnson & Johnson, all these health groups. MasterCard, Visa. Tesla's up there. Berkshire Hathaway, which is, we've been talking about here recently. The man running that. Warren Buffett dumping shares of BOFA big time here recently and not buying up any of his own shares, which is indicative that they think a dump is going to come. And you can see Saudi Aramco, the biggest giant out there in energy, followed by Exxon and then Chevron. There's like the biggest companies out there. globally. Most of them on board with the beast and its agendas, which is disgusting. And they should be boycotted. And they should be feeling the pain. Not these small businesses, not farms, not, these family-ran places. And you can see here, this one says that the persistent economic pressure that's been put on by this Biden regime, it is changing consumer habits. And it's, by default, sending more restaurants into bankruptcy. This has been happening left and right, big name places. You can see Red Lobster here in the image, and I've mentioned this several times, but they're just one of many that have been ran underground. And this person here that handles business reorganizations says that his company is aware of at least 17 national big-time restaurant chains that have filed for bankruptcy this year alone. Yeah, Roti, Boca di Beppo, Tijuana Flats, Sticky Finger Joint, Red Lobster, just to name a few. They also go on to say here that what's fueling some of this is the fact that you've got DoorDash stepping up onto the scene. DoorDash and other places like it, Grubhub, Uber Eats, they've jumped into the business and they are now snatching up as much as 30% of the money in these circles from the restaurants. So DoorDash, a double-edged sword, they say. Say it's killing some of the restaurants that don't make much money, that are just barely getting by. So, if you didn't know, now you know. There's always something going on there, but man, it's not looking good here in America as they continue to decimate everything. It's like nobody's really doing anything to fix anything. Last week it was Dollar General. Now Dollar Tree, plunging in terms of its shares. Both of them warning that the core customer is under pressure. So, some of the poorest people out there shop at these places. And you have these places now saying, look, this ain't good. People are not coming in. It's slowing down. And normally it doesn't slow down like this, not this bad. Man, the signs are everywhere. We're feeling it all over the place. These dollar stores and Dollar Trees, they're not the healthiest places to shop at. But in terms of just getting a beat on what's happening to the economy and around us, these places hurting big time. And so, they start to crumble and you don't have them around anymore. Only thing that I could think the people can lean on here is each other, and that's not snitching each other out. That's getting together with local farmers and others that grow certain things and getting the process of trading down. Trade some eggs for some corn, things like that. I'm talking survival, because that's where this is going. When all these places are wiped out, where are you going to get goods? When the dollar store and the Dollar Tree no longer exist anymore, where are any of these people going to go? Drive further down the road to get to Walmart, right? Something like that. Which we don't trust their meats or anything. Again, a juggernaut in the game that bows down to the beast. It funnels everything back to the monopolies. I would just like to see more independent places out there spring up. I would support them. I try to support places like that the best I can. And I suggest you do too, because it's all we have left and we're going to have left. Yeah, and Jay from the Ville, I hate seeing a Dollar General around every corner too. It sucks, but it's by design. And as I've shown you before, the stats show that those places, when they go into certain areas and they start putting Dollar Generals and dollar stores up all over the place, it helps feed the disease in the area because it carries so much unhealthy food, just sugar food, just junk food, and stuff like that. So it causes diabetes and things like that to rise and go through the roof. So it's all by design there. The only silver lining to this that I've seen as of late is that because of this, because they've been catching the flack of carrying junk, I've seen these DG markets pop up. It's Dollar General. It's Dollar General. It's a market. They are of the newest stores I've seen out here anywhere, and they're actually, serving people the real deal food and things like that, like a marketplace, instead of the junk food. But I haven't personally gone in yet and sampled or bought or seen what kind of food they're pushing. I could walk in there because I've never been in there. I don't know. I could walk in there and they'd be pushing Beyond Meats, or the Bill Gates stuff. You just never know. But anyhow, man, these places are going under too. So what does that tell you? Everybody's just hurting. Trust me, I feel the pain. Yeah. And thank you, Jeff, for that information. Let's take a look at home buyer sentiment in houses. I don't see this getting any better. If you didn't get a house here this past year, or you're not looking to buy like right now, I'm not sure. I'm just not sure you're going to get it. To me, building from scratch with your own hands, with your own energy, is where it's going to be at. If you want to get something done, if you just want even one of them small buildings, I mean, they even come prefabricated right now. You can get these, I don't want to call them tiny homes because they're not all made to be a home. They could be garages, they can be whatever, they can be businesses. They make them pretty big down here and pretty with decked out with all the bells and whistles if you want to pay for it. But they're not super expensive because they can't be down in these necks of the woods, or people wouldn't buy them. People do buy them and use them for all kinds of different things, and some people do live out of them. But the traditional home is going through the roof. U.S. home buyers hit with a record high, and this is insane. This is a down payment. A record high down payment of $67,000 now. That is crazy. To think just like 5 years back, you would have only needed a fraction of that. That is up almost 15% from just a year ago. So in 1 year, it's jumping 15%, leaps and bounds. So, you could have only had to put down like $5,000-$10,000 back before COVID. That's right, $5,000-$10,000, and now $67,000. That's how much it spiked. Insane. KY Mountain checking in. Yes, and thank you for the comment, my brother. Man, much love. Hope you're doing good. Thank you for the coffee. It is the best way to support the stream. And yeah, my man. Yeah, we got to get it in, man. I've been so busy. I haven't even been able to meet up with anyone, do anything. I've just been to the grind every day, every single day, trying to beat the buzzer, trying to beat this big event, making sure that I've got every single thing that I can in line before this all goes down. And I've been at it for years, nonstop. And it's like almost that time. Tough shed, lowrider says. Yeah, to be off grid. And if you're listening out there and you're wondering what is it going to take, I'm going to be dropping some videos here to try to help people see what it takes to get off grid. Okay? You wouldn't see me go out and buy a brand new home in this environment. You wouldn't. I would go out and I would buy lumber, put it on a credit card, get a loan, whatever, and go build in your spot that's hidden. And it could be a spot in another family member's name somewhere that you're all working toward. Be strategic, smart. Do whatever you got to do. Get you an RV if you can't build. We just seen the downturn on RVs. Some places are giving huge discounts right now. I take advantage of that. If you're someone who thinks that you need to get out of an area, like flee Commeyville or something. Charlie, thank you for the coffee. Much love, truly appreciate it to the fullest. I'm just saying, if you look at to escape a place like that, maybe an RV or something like that is your best bet. But if you're just looking to relocate, you know it's kind of close by or something like that, I'd build. I mean, this is crazy. Median down payments for a house at an all-time high. I just don't know how anyone could do it. You know, years ago, the Most High instilled visions within me that scared the crap out of me. And basically said, son, you need to go. You need to go. You need to go to the mountains. And I thought long and hard about it, like what in the hell is happening? Like I don't know anyone down there. I don't know nothing. I can't just go. He did it again. He hit me hard with visions, just visions in my mind, just flat out, like you're watching a TV screen, just flat out visions of things to come. And that you don't want to be caught where you're at in it. This is before COVID. So I wasn't going to dare doubt the Most High, the Lord that's guided me thus far, as scary as it all seemed. I did it. And I headed off into the mountains to the wilderness, hours away from any friends, any family, anyone to help me, and put it in God's hands. And I'm still here. Even a year later, after they wiped me out, took all my money, everything, God kept me afloat because I never broke the faith. And I'm a living testament to that. So there are no excuses, especially anyone that's had a full-time job throughout this whole time, throughout the past year or years. Ain't no excuses. If you want it, if you want to survive this madness that's about to break loose, you've been given every chance, every warning. This is like last minute if you're going to try to do it now. But better late than never. Maybe it's these hordes of migrants coming in that's finally going to get you up off your ass and realize, I just seen a van full of them going through my neighborhood this week. I don't know what it's going to take, but we're about out of time. As I said today in the video, it's begun. Yeah. And Crypto, thank you for the coffee. Yes, and Gregory has been on point with a lot of stuff. Thank you for that information. And yes, I have to share some stuff on Gregory in the future, financial stuff, and what he talks about. I just want to give the heads up here on the home buyer stuff, man. The best way that I see out of this madness is to build while lumber is lower. Do whatever you can to do it, and get off grid. I'm going to be sharing with you one of the best off-grid systems that you're going to find out there. I'm going to show you, after years of research, digging into stuff, and just trying the best bang for your buck, plus one that is local here in the United States that you can get parts from. I found the best off-grid power supply that I think works, that's DIY friendly, that any and all of you guys can do. Me and one other individual did it. And a much love and shout outs to Gary out there, Panther. Only cat step up and help me. Much love, my brother. Appreciate it. But I want to share with you guys in videos on my YouTube channel what the power system is about. And show you that, if you get these things, you can get off grid. You can break away from a smart meter, which I've done, finally, successfully. We can't manipulate you with frequency and damage your health and all this other stuff. And they can't cut your stuff off and leave you in the dark. You broke free of that, I can't stress it enough how big of a victory it is. When say a power system is going to cost you $20-some thousand, you're like, how the hell am I going to do that? But when you do the numbers and you find out that once you break away from the system, all these bills that you save on. What I did is I found out that I could save or anyone could save like $20,000 a year if they broke away from the system and they did away with their bills of paying all the electric, of paying these big water bills. That's another one. And they're attacking you in the water. All right? They're putting chemicals in there, fluoride, all that. Well, take it into your own hands. It's what I've done as well. And they can no longer try to attack me through water supply. Also, don't have to pay all those big water bills or big electric bills. Do you see? And when you add all this up and you get off grid, you get somewhere that you've built, you don't have a house payment and all that, you can save over 20 grand in a year. So with over a year's time, it starts to pay for itself. And you're off grid. You broke free of everything. It's just, it's a choice, man. You either want to get out and away from the madness, or you're fine with where you're at, and you'll deal with the madness when it hits you, right? I've tried my best to get people away from it. I'm gonna talk more about this here in a bit, but I want to get through some of these articles. And again, thank you for the coffees, guys. And if you guys got anything to get to me, dabu7@yahoo.com, or at me in the comment section. Try my best. If I see him, to get back at you. I see Night Watch, Nate out there. Much love. Love to everybody out there. Kathy, Deanne, all the mods holding it down. And Cannon's checking in. Much love. Let's go. All right. A warning from the FBI. These are usually pretty ominous because, come on. We know time and time again Christopher Wray and his minions are always up there, up to something, and it doesn't seem to be in our best interest. When I see things like this, I'm like, how many of these guys are trained by the exact hand warning us? Well, they're saying that individuals out of North Korea are trying to steal your crypto. And I would just say beware of any emails or especially a message to your phone from like a crypto place. Saying, hey, this is Coinbase. We need an update on this or that. Or we noticed a change to your stuff. This is a security alert, Coinbase. Click on this link. Dude, don't fall for it. They're getting very crafty. And if I were you, if it's an email, always look at the email name who's sending it. Because oftentimes you'll see right there that it's like, something stupid. It'll say something stupid and a bunch of numbers. And you'll know that it's not official. It's not like Coinbase support, the official. Although they'll get crafty sometimes, and they'll try to mimic that. Do not click on any links or anything like that these days, man. That's the biggest thing I can say. You get something, it's gonna look legit. I mean, that's what they do. It's going to say it's like Coinbase or Binance or any place that you've used before that they've figured out. And they're going to try to mock it, to mimic it. Yeah, so check this next one out. And this goes for anyone out there that's got any kind of device, a laptop, a phone, Alexa, anything. We have Cox Media Group, which is one of the largest media groups on the planet, getting busted. Openly busting themselves by saying that they are secretly eavesdropping on people's private conversations. Meaning, right now, I got a computer in front of me, and they're listening through it. Of course, I'm talking through the mic and everything else, but even if I had none of this, it was just a phone sitting in here, they are listening. Even if it's just your iPad sitting over on the corner of the room, they are listening. And it's now being exposed that, they were kind of like, bragging about this, that they have an active listening software. And they were trying to brag about how good their artificial intelligence is. And in the midst of it, they gave it away that the artificial intelligence is capturing and analyzing real-time intent data from users' conversations in their living rooms, in their kitchens, in their bedrooms. All of it. That's right. Listening to all of it. So every little noise you can make, they're listening and they're recording it. Next time you and your partner are having some free time in the bedroom, I might want to think twice. Is the phone around? Because someone is listening. And whether you realize it or not, every single thing that you do is being recorded and then being put out there to be sold. This is crazy. So they've been busted in the open admitting this. They're listening to every single thing you say. So just know that every bit of electronics, you might as well see it as every electronic, even your TVs, the newest ones, even your fridge, if it's a smart fridge, anything that has smart in it is listening to you. Anything and everything. Newer headphones, smart headphones, listening to you because they can. Because they've got built-in microphones that you don't know about. And they put them there for that exact reason. It's ridiculous. So I just thought you might want to know. Cox Media Group, huge conglomerate out there, caught spying on all of us. Is anyone going to boycott them? Run them into bankruptcy? Huh? Powers in the people, powers in the politics that we address, powers in your numbers, powers in where you put your money. That's for sure. Let's go on here. Starlink agreeing to comply with Brazil's orders to block X. So if you don't know, Elon, caught in the crosshairs now, could be one of the main targets, so to speak, on the world stage. As the left attacks the right, and that's the biggest game in history, the left-right paradigm. But of course, Elon falling on the side of Musk and what they want to call freedom and your rights and all this, which I've said before isn't true, because he surely censors me and a lot of others on his platform, so it's not censorship-free. That's a lie. This is a big ruse. But it's designed to catch everybody up in it. So, they block X in Brazil because this is almost like gaslighting, because he would not censor certain people, because he wouldn't listen to like our government coming along and wanting him to censor, which you can understand. That's the righteous thing. But as he's sitting here trying to make this stance that he will not censor up here, he's censoring me daily. So that's all garbage. That he's the enemy to them and they're going after him. I don't buy none of it. They're actors on this world stage, is how I see it. In the end, though, Starlink buckles and they agree to comply because if you don't know what he did, they shut him down in the country because they can do that. They can flip a switch and they can do that. But what they can't do is they can't shut down Starlink. Very interesting. They can shut down, the whole nation could go down in the dark, but through Starlink, you could still have access. You could still be live, broadcasting. And they did just that. Starlink said, oh yeah? You want to cut us off? We're going to give everybody service anyway. We're just going to beam it in from space. And you can't stop it. And they did that here this past week. So finally, I guess, Brazil said, okay, there's no way we can stop this. So you're going to have to come to the negotiation table and we're going to have to talk this out. So in doing so, Starlink says, okay, we'll comply. We'll stop for the moment. And they stop broadcasting it. So they're trying to work something out now. In the midst of this, they've taken down the Telegram founder. And I'm going to get to that here in a second. And they are also fining everyday people $9,000 per attempt to get on X or Twitter. So if you're a citizen trying to get onto X, they can hit you with a $9,000 fine. That is crazy. It's insane. And Robert Reich has made the call to arrest Elon Musk. And this comes right after they just arrested this Telegram founder. And you guys may be thinking, well, who is this Telegram founder? What's going on? What's happening here? Well, this is trappy. This is the setup. Telegram, just like Discord, all these places, they popped up a few years back, 5 years ago, whenever. It was around a crypto wave, 2016. 2017, crypto wave. That's when these places really became popular and were being used big time in the crypto circles. When the crypto kind of died off in that wave, use for them kind of waned. But Discord got picked up by a different community, which I'm putting a warning out right now. If they can do this to Telegram, Discord's next. Anything like it. Why do you think they're just going straight for the jugular? They're going straight for Elon. Straight after Twitter. X. Now listen. Look at the charges on what they're pinning on this guy, and this is exactly what they're about to try to do to Elon out here on this world stage. Okay? And then anyone that's on the site, you're going to be labeled a criminal or an extremist or anything like that. And if you try to access it, you're going to get fined like they just did down in Brazil. So, the CEO is a Russian billionaire. So let's just start there. His root in blood, Alexander Leitner, takes him back to Russia. Interesting, huh? Oh, that's not even him. Hold on a second. This isn't even his name. This is talking about someone that just busted on Telegram for being an extremist. Sharing information. Talking about certain things. I don't know if you guys have ever heard, this makes me think of a place called Godlike Productions. It's just like Discord. These forums, Reddit. There's another one, Reddit. These places are places where people gather and start talking all this different stuff. And that's what they're saying all these dudes have done. And they're giving an example here of this guy that went on there, was talking all this stuff. And the feds showed up and kicked in his door. And they were like, you know why we're here, right? And the guy was like, Telegram. They already knew because this is where all the dirt was being done. And Discord's the same way. Reddit's the same way. There's dudes, Godlike Productions the same way. There's dudes in there talking right now the same stuff. Okay? So this Russian billionaire, his name is Pavel Durov. Okay? They take him down and they try to say that he is responsible for letting all these extremists do all this stuff on his site. Thank you for the coffee, Ava. I think that this is far-fetched because, all right, yeah, I believe that there can be certain things, certain measures taken to safeguard against things. Sure, yeah, that's true. I'm sure that can happen anywhere. But you're going to have people doing things that you don't even realize what's going on almost anywhere and everywhere. They're speaking in code, for crying out loud, these days. And in doing so, they're communicating back and forth in Telegram, in all these other places, and you don't even know what they're saying. So, you don't know what they're doing. In terms of freedom and privacy, if you still want to hold on to some of that, well, there's going to be an extent where they don't know everything that you're doing in private chats and things like that. I'm here to tell you that they're watching it all. They're spying on everything. But nothing's private. There's absolutely nothing private. And this should show you, all these people got comfortable in here talking about all these crazy things. And they just let it build up and build up and build up. And then they go after the main guy and are like, look, you're done. We're taking you down. You allowed this. You facilitated this. They're attempting at the exact same time. There is a movement. Now that I think about it, there is a global movement right now for this to happen. Elon Musk just happens to be the world's richest man and very savvy. Probably is not going to let himself fall into their web where he gets arrested and extradited or anything like that. But the world is a stage. We'll see. We don't even know where this Durov is being held. He could be in a penthouse suite. We don't know. The world is a stage. Okay? But who else are they after? Just like this. Who are they after right now? Right now. For this exact same reason. Kim.com. You know, Kim.com has been on the run. Interesting. There was a glitch there as I start to say this. Why do they want Kim? Because Kim did the same thing. He ran Mega Upload, a site that allowed people to upload all types of stuff. I mean, like him or not. He did the same thing. I know the buffering kicked in for a second. I'll let it quit as soon as I get onto this kick. I seen a glitch on the screen, so I knew it would happen for a second. It's back. Yeah, as soon as you get into the juicy of these characters. But what did he do? He allowed all these people to upload stuff to Mega Upload that they said was criminal, extremist, the same exact thing. So they're trying to take down Kim.com. They just took down Durov. They're trying to go after Elon Musk, the top cat out there. Yeah, so of course they're listening. Do you know how many of the enemy are listening tonight? It's sick. Why do you think when you're watching on YouTube all the time that the number of viewers drops out by the hundreds? That's not natural. We'll climb up to a certain, and then hundreds just drop off. It'll climb back up, and then hundreds just dropped off. It's because they chop it. That's how they do. It's censorship. We're used to it. Normally, a couple people come in, a couple people go out. Dozen at the same time, at most. Not hundreds, but that's how they do. And they'll just chop them back. See, they just chop 100 just like that. Me saying that. It only happens here where super censorship goes down. Yeah. They've been assigned to this channel for a minute. I actually had a lady tell me years ago, I actually got on the phone with somebody from YouTube, and they were trying to act like they were seriously caring about my thoughts and what all was going on with my channel and all this stuff. And she told me that my channel had a flag, a weird flag that they could not get off of it. And I'm like, what do you mean my channel has a flag? She's like, yeah, let me check into this. And she came back and she told me, she goes, man, somebody has targeted your account in a crazy major way with the flag that I can't even get off. And it's still there to this day. So just imagine that. Yeah. Yeah. Just imagine that. That's pretty bad. It's sick. That's disgusting. They sit there and tell me that, and I can't do nothing about it. But all right, I'm gonna keep going here. China. They're starting a new global trade war, and what they're doing is they're gonna flood the market with so much of these electronic things, EVs, these chips, all the stuff, in so much of an amount that it's going to make anyone else that's making it like lose out big time. They're going to lose out, but they've got an oversupply of all this stuff. So when they flood the market with this is going to cause a lot of chaos. And anyone that starts to buy up all this stuff, well, they're buying from China. They're not buying from America. They're not buying from anywhere else. So I warned about this in the past. Much love, Deanne. Much love, Spiro. And all the new cats in the underground. All the purebloods out there. Much love. You got to watch China. This world is a stage, man. I'm telling you, our politicians have sold us out. You know, Xi Jinping and that whole communist regime is in bed with everybody else. If you haven't figured it out by now, the world is a stage, man. So this is all designed, just like the Great Depression was a long time ago. It not only affected America, it affected the globe. And all these big moves that they make, the Klausians, talk about at their big meetings, the World Economic Forums and their Bilderbergs. They have these plans of control, and it involves China and Russia and all of them. And I've showed you and I've told you before, don't be fooled. Xi Jinping is a protege of Henry Kissinger. It was like one of his best friends and his handler. It's literally American, and make sure your supply lines, the stuff that you need to get, is American. Like, they'll go buy a new vehicle, some Audi or some Peugeot, or something that's going to need foreign parts that are going to be hard to get in a crazy situation. Like when China decides they want to start a trade war, like they just did, okay? Or like when the Houthis decide that they're going to start blowing up everything in the Red Sea, like they've been doing for weeks now. They just took out 2 more tankers in the Red Sea. And I'm telling you, at this point, with our depleted U.S. military and no one holding anything down, this shipping lane is done. It's done. This is going to cause everyone to have to go out through the Straits of Gibraltar and all the way out and around Africa. But mark my words, China could roll up in here and strike a deal and just have vessels in the region and act like they're bearers of peace or something stupid. I'm warning you. These days out there, that you look close like the flight deck of a U.S. Anything out there, and I'm just gonna. We'll leave it there, man. It's disappointing, man. The U.S. military has folded, and they're admitting it. It's widely known. It's embarrassing. Our leadership is embarrassing. All of it. U.S. sailors and military can't even go out in public without getting hassled and taunted and messed with. And as I showed you on the last stream, bags thrown over their head. Ran up on and grabbed. And like hands put on them and everything else. Like, it's insane. Well, those same Turkish protesters swarmed one of our warships as it was leaving the dock, chanting to get out of there, Yankees, and all this other stuff. We are hated in all of these regions, and that was supposed to be our ally. We've got nuclear weapons sitting in Turkey, and they just jump ship and they're going with bricks. They're trying to get into bricks. Insane. Soul Foundry with the coffee. Much love, my brother. God bless. Hope you're doing good, my brother. Good to see you. Thanks for checking in. So just wanted to say, again, we're hated big time in this country. Big time. Again, I want you to notice how we just went from 1,000 viewers up to almost 1,300, back down to 1,150. It's just not natural. Back in the days when the stream was held natural, you'd know it. It's garbage. Anyhow, we have record amounts of protesters going after Netanyahu in Israel, going after the Mossad, going after all the stuff that's happening there because of all the genocide, all everything. This is, it's good to see the people rise to the occasion, and they're pissed off. And they're willing to do something here, put some heat on Netanyahu, but it doesn't matter. They've had this man sentenced to jail and everything else, and he escaped it, and he's in power, doing what they do. The Mossad. Dropping bombs all over the place. Oh, let's just throw some down here, let's throw some over there. You don't like it, throw some at you. It's just how they are. Finally, we're starting to see some large numbers. They're strictly anti-Netanyahu protesters hitting the streets to try to get him out of there. So, well, let me, well, this takes me into the politics here, just past the top of the hour. And again, I want to thank everyone out there that tunes in, everyone that shares the stream, everyone that supports the stream. All appreciated to the fullest. And let's dive in. We have a spy working for China, busted, working for the governor of New York. Hochul, in her office, had a Chinese spy that was getting millions. She was overseeing millions and millions and millions of transactions, of dollars worth of transactions. She has a nice home, brand new Ferrari in the garage, all bought off this money. And come to find out, she is an agent of the CCP.
I think,
You get a refresh on this clip. Much love to everybody out there. Uncommon checking in. Thank you, Tacos. We'll let you hear this clip. This is her.
I think, when people say diversity and inclusion, I think everybody agrees, or most people generally agree that it's a good thing, right? But I think right now we also need to bring in the word equity, right? Diversity is when you say that there's, many different types of people with different backgrounds and they're all, invited to the table. Inclusion is when, we include all of their ideas. But equity is when we make sure that all of the people who are at the table have equal.
So that is who she is. You clearly see she's Chinese by looking at her. But if you were to not see her and just hear her voice, you would take her as just being like an everyday American woman. She blended right on in. And in the midst of all this, she was funneling all this money, all this information, knowledge back to China. Which a whole lot more of this is going on than meets the eye. I think it's only when they get busted and some of these stories become obvious, that's the only reason that we hear of it. The cat gets out of the bag because this is going on all over the place. I'm telling you, these type of people are all throughout the government, all over the place. I've told you about the former Chinese general. He is a billionaire. He owns hundreds of acres in Texas, just miles away from our military bases. How is it even possible? How is it even legal? Why would they ever even let him do it? Because the world is a stage, dude. You wonder where all the Chinese are going that are getting smuggled in here? Well, there's home base. There's a huge home base spot right there I just told you about. Much less all the other places that the Chinese own across the country. It's ridiculous. It's going to any one of their damn warehouses. They're all over. And I'm telling you, the Chinese have not even made their move yet. We're seeing all this migrant stuff, which I'm about to get into, but not a bit of it, not a lick of it's Chinese. Not yet. Not yet. And I'm telling you, that's when that happens, it's not going to be good. Look at this. The so-called VP candidate that's supposed to be running with Kamala, this Walls. Do you know that this dude has been to China dozens of times? Dozens. I mean, who does that? Why would you be going there when you were in the military? You weren't going there as a senator. And first off, it's illegal to go to certain places like this, being a member of our country, of our U.S. military, in any shape or form. To go have secret conversations with the enemy behind closed doors is treasonous. So he did it 30 times. And they're saying that the record shows that some of these were quiet trips that were not justified, meaning that he did them illegally. So I'm just saying, we know Kamala and all these Dems got these major Chinese connections, but did you know they go this deep? And that this dude right here is that big of a sell. I thought that guys like I can't even think of the name of them. So many sellouts, though. Senator of my state. I hate him that bad. Not Rand Paul, but Mick. He's married to a Chinese lady that has high connections to the CCP. Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell's so deep with CCP and the Chinese, it's sick. You come down my back roads, Gary and anyone else that comes down these back roads can attest to it. They have a sign up that says "Ditch Mitch." I mean, people hate him. They know he doesn't stand for we the people. But this guy's the same way. He's towing the line, and his connections to China are sickening. Yeah, Mitch McConnell. Look at this. You want to know a little bit more about old Walls? I told you on the last stream, his brother sold him out. Well, his brother didn't really sell him out. His brother's told the truth. His brother said, look, he's a piece of crap. He's treasonous. He's garbage. You don't want someone like him leading this country. His own oldest brother. Maybe you should have took care of that when you guys were a little bit younger. Ingrained something into him a little bit harder. But either way, he turned out to be a commie. And Tim Walz, his entire family hates him, it seems. I don't know if they hate him, but they don't endorse him. They don't back him. And they're all from Nebraska, and every one of them back Trump. And this is like the biggest troll that you could see out there. And thank you, Vikings fan, for the love. It says Walls for Trump. Walls for Trump. So, his whole family can't stand him politically, at least. And Sparrow. Yeah. I just think that says it all. When someone's entire family, not just like one or two or a sibling you didn't get along with or, something like that. No, This is a lot. A whole family. This is a lot. You see them in the shirts. Thank you, Deanne. So, I appreciate that. Thank you for the coffees. Thank you for all the support, all you guys tonight. I appreciate it. Welcome to the underground. All the new cats rolling in. Yeah, that's gonna be an awkward Thanksgiving, isn't it? I bet that people like this don't even show up to those type of events. You know, they're the outcast, and they know it. They know what they've sacrificed for their money, fame, and power. In this instance, the guy has a complete disconnect from his family. He's in the club, so that is his new family now. You know, he's going to Illuminati dinners and all this other stuff. That's yeah, that's the real deal. Take your place. You got that right. A lot of people was liking that. I got a lot of good feedback and emails and response on the music at the end of the last stream. It's what we do. We try to make some music, man, to get the truth out there as well. So thank you for that. And look at this. You want to talk about being a turncoat. You want to talk about being two-faced. Just be real. Can anybody be real? Just be real. Nothing worse than a fake friends, fake anyone. Just be real. If we don't see eye to eye, we don't see eye to eye. But don't be fake about it. And don't act like you're on one team and then turn out to be the Judas. You know, don't be a Mike Pence. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's what Liz Cheney is. And you guys know that. Cheney has long been an establishment figure. And anytime you hear us say establishment and they're all on the same team, this is a perfect example. It doesn't matter Democrat, Republican or not. Liz Cheney is a Republican, okay? And she is backing Kamala Harris. Call them rhinos, call them names, call them whatever you want. It doesn't change the fact that it's one big club. And once you get down to this point, it's noticed and seen. So what are people doing here? How can people like Liz Cheney even be in this position? Like, I don't know, man. It's people like that need to be pulled in for treason. Her connections, Dick Cheney, the whole Cheney family, all that. Talk about corruption all the way back to 9/11. Are you kidding me? And yet their seeds still sitting here. Just like when George Soros is about to go. All the seeds of chaos that he sows, he's done passed the torch to his son, which is going to be here for decades and decades to come. And it's seen linked up with Huma Abedin, Illuminati all day, Hillary Clinton Foundation member, establishment goon all day. It ain't getting any better, man. These sellouts are known. They're right out there in front of us. We know who they are. We know where they meet at these places. We sure do. Just no one that took an oath to serve and protect is taking it serious, I guess, this far. We know where the criminals that are plotting our demise are gathering. Just put it that way. We know who they are. We know some of these people are on record, on video, committing treason and felonies, and they could be taken out any day. Guys like Bill Gates and others that are caught on film, incriminating themselves. Everything moves so fast these days that it just gets swept under the rug. But tomorrow morning, everything that I said here tonight is forgotten about. Everyone's just sitting there like, feed us some more fresh. I don't even want to call it news these days. It's like a form of entertainment. It's sad. It sucks because some people are not taking things serious. They just listen. They take no action. We need a lot of action in this country. And we're just not seeing it, man. Years ago, we had a lot more militias active, a lot more patriots, all that. Ever since Trump stepped on the scene, that's diminished. It's diminished. You don't see local patriot movements, local militia groups like you did years ago. You don't. They're not around. They're not flexing. They're not out riding. They're not doing. Nope. You just don't see it. It's almost like everybody's threw everything in the Trump basket. All their eggs in that basket. And I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens, right? So you may have noticed the polls, the fake polls coming out have shown Kamala ahead of Trump. And you got to know that it's a lie. These are fake polls, as we call them. They really are. Well, it's being admitted now that the only reason that she is ahead in a lot of these areas is because of oversampling. And what this means is they'll oversample or undersample a region. They'll know it's a Democrat-heavy area, and they'll go in and they'll oversample that whole crowd. They sure will. And then they may do 4,000 or 5,000 Democrats in that area, and then stop by and do a dozen Republicans, if any. And that's the bias, is that they're not getting a legitimate response. Let them go down into, come to my state and take that poll. Do a legitimate poll. You're going to get overwhelming support for Trump. It's not going to be for Harris at all. The true polls, in my opinion, would show you that Trump leads 80+% to her 30-40%. They would be so smashing that why even hold an election is what people would say. But I kid you not, they may even do that. They may even show you right all the way down to the wire how bad Trump is smashing her and give you her. Huh? How can they not? They gave you Biden, and then turned around and told you he had more votes than anyone in history, the most favorite, most popular president, and you know it was all sham and lie. So now you know this. You know all this. And you don't think they'll do it again? Ain't nothing changed. No one's been arrested. No one's been taken out of power. Nothing. Nothing. They pulled off their stage J6 crap, all that. Nothing's happened. So if they give you Kamala this time, and they say, oh, Trump's willing to wait around 4 more years, is that what Patriots going to do? Is that what Trumpers going to do? Sit there for 4 more years? Dude, in 4 more years, this place won't exist. You'll be knee-deep in a depression and in the dark. You won't even be able to get to these people that sold you out. Sad thing is I feel it's going to happen either way. They can do it by Kamala. I mean, you already see what she's pushing. All the stuff that she represents. It's a economy killer by default. Or they could just pull the plug at any time, and you know this. I feel like if Trump gets in there, that's what they're going to do. Either way, we lose. The economy is coming down by default, and they have to have a crisis to install their CBDC. That's the next huge step. They have to find a way to do it, and it will be a massive crisis. You know what this means, don't you? It will mean you can't get your money out of the bank or traditional banks, where the government can beeline directly get you money to your wallet without having to go through an intermediary, without even having to go through a potentially corrupt bank. Did you miss the story I just put out about something huge coming? Something huge is coming. TD Bank in Canada has been taken down and accused of money laundering for who? The Chinese. And guess who else is? Dozens of major U.S. banks that they refuse to name. And as soon as they name just a couple or just one, it's game over. The stocks will dump. People will not be able to get their money out of those banks. It will begin. It will begin. I've warned you about it. Warren Buffett knows it. This is why the dude's selling off the top like he's never done in Bank of America stock. He sure is. He's done got $6 billion he's pocketed off of it. Hello, wake up. He smells the coffee. He sees the writing on the wall. Plus, he's got insider knowledge. We've got the knowledge at this point. I wouldn't get caught with a dime in Bank of America or any of these big banks. I keep just enough in there to pay the bills coming up on the horizon. That's it. That's it. It's it. Because if not, you're going to get caught. I told you, 401k is going to get trashed when this happens. They're going to steal it all. Do you think that they don't have a plan to steal it all? Get out of here. They want the whole bag. They want the whole bag. How do they get the whole bag? How do they get your whole 401k and everything you've ever saved? Huh? By dumping out the stock market. That's what it's all connected to. How does the stock market dump? When the rich dudes finally sell it all. And see, when this happens, you're going to be on your computer sitting there trying to sell. But you're going to be getting stuff on your screen saying, oh no, triggers have been put in place. No one can sell. But you're going to sit there and watch it continue to dump. How can it continue to dump if no one can sell? Well, someone's selling. The richest men on the planet. Because their computer's not stopping them. Because this whole thing's rigged. And they're allowed to keep dumping, while you're not. You figured this out yet? And it's what's already happened over and over. So when they do this, and you're pulling your hair out, trying to save anything you can of your stocks, or your 401k connected to any stocks in Tesla or your Trump stock, whatever it is, you're not going to be able to. I warned you over and over. You won't catch me with nothing in the bank unless it's just enough to pay for the bills ahead. And even there, I've eliminated that. That's what's even better. Take it the step further and get it to where you don't need the bank for much of anything when you eliminate all the bills. Get yourself independent, off-grid, collecting your own water, own septic system, all this stuff. Get the chickens going, get the food going, all that stuff. Break away all the bills, fade away, then you can start selling some of your excess food or bartering it and trading it, and then start to get ahead. Then maybe all that money you're earning then can go towards something else. I'm telling you, man, where there's a will, there's a way. I'm going to be putting out videos showing people, man, that, like, you can break away from this. If you want to get out and away from this and break away before the hordes of these migrants get to your neighborhood, better get on it. It's not going to get any easier from here. And I haven't even got to that. I'm almost there. Almost to all the migrant stuff. This may surprise you. The Kremlin says that they prefer Kamala over Trump. And the reasoning behind all this is the same way that they preferred Biden. They say that the Democrats are more predictable. Whether they're just trying to separate themselves from any Trump backing or whatever, because they always want to blame Russia. Russia's just flat out coming out saying here that no, we prefer the Democrats. So they can't, it goes against the Dems because they can't say Russia this time around. They can't sit there and say, oh, no, Russia's colluding with Trump. No. When on record, they're saying that they prefer the Dems. So it's almost like, gaslighting them right back. So, just so you know, that's who they like. Now, this debate coming up, it may not happen. I don't know. If you want a good laugh, it may be worth watching. We haven't sat and done a watch party for one of these in a minute. I know Tooch was doing them back when he was still streaming. I don't know. With the copyright things and everything they put into effect, I don't know how it's going to work on YouTube. Probably get an Insta strike from what I seen last time with everything. And I thought that was very interesting because for years we could always cover these things with no problem. But now all of a sudden they're wanting to have full control over all the footage and everything said on them. Either way, if you watch this, it's all going to be scripted. It's all scripted. Well, ABC may prevent 11 million people from seeing it. So just know that there's some kind of dispute between DirecTV and Walt Disney, and like 11 million people may not see this. So just go figure. If it is a disaster for her and this and that, just millions more. Just make it get the stream cut all of a sudden. I don't put nothing past them. They control all this. And if she's getting torched by Trump all of a sudden up there, I mean, give me a break. And if you don't know, they've just released the rules for next week's presidential debate between Trump and Kamala. So this is said to be going down. They both agreed to these rules. It's scheduled for September 10th. It will last 90 minutes with 2 commercial breaks. They have 2 different moderators that are going to be asking the questions. A coin flip was held on September 3rd to determine the podium placements in the closing arguments. Trump won the coin toss and chose to select the order of statements. He will offer the last closing statement, so he'll have the last word. And Harris selected the right podium on screen, so stage left. They will be introduced by moderators. They will enter upon introduction from opposite sides of the stage. The incumbent party will be introduced first. There will be no opening statements. Closing statements will be 2 minutes per candidate. So the final statements will be 2 minutes and they're cut. The candidates will stand behind the podium for the duration of the debate. They say that props or pre-written notes are not allowed on stage. Get out of here. There's something called a teleprompter. You know they're going to be reading off of. So this whole thing, that's just like a joke. No topics or questions will be shared in advance. Garbage. Candidates will be given a pen, a pad of paper, and a bottle of water. So that's how this thing's going to roll. It's supposed to be live, they say. We'll see how this whole thing flies. We'll see how it goes with the whole script. There will be an audience in the room, but who they are, what they've been told to do and say, be quiet or not, all this. You know, the Harris campaign last Monday requested both candidates' mics be unmuted for the entire 90-minute debate, meaning that if he's saying something, she could bark over him. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this hashes out, if it even goes down. We could have some kind of outbreak or some craziness or something happen that stops this in the coming week. So Biden actually gets found. They found this dude. They caught him and had him on camera for just a brief moment. And they were like, yo, like, what's going on? Like, President of the United States, like, what are you doing? And, like, what's going on? The reporter says, you know, how is it now to be back on the campaign trail? And Biden says, well, it's good, but I'm not allowed to go out in the crowds no more. The Secret Service won't let me. It's like, what? Secret Service won't let you? Yeah, they say it's too dangerous. No one gets to go out. No one gets to go out, but they're surely not protecting Trump like that, and you know it. I'm going to play this clip.
How was it to be back on the campaign trail today? President, how was it to be back on the campaign trail today? President, how was it to be back on the campaign trail today?
It was good.
That's good. How do you feel about Pennsylvania?
Except I'm not able to go out in the crowds anymore. The Secret Service doesn't let me.
No, why not?
Well, because they say it's too dangerous. No one gets to go out.
We're not.
You know, serious.
How do you feel about Pennsylvania right now?
I feel real good about Pennsylvania. I think we're going to win Pennsylvania.
I think we're going to win. You're not even running, fool. How do you feel about Pennsylvania? Well, you're not even running, fool. Like, get out of here. Like, dude, this country is done. Talk about asleep at the wheel. Like, yeah, Weekend at Bernie's, all that. Like, dude, the mask. Like, dude's fried. Dude's been missing MIA. They said he was at a beach for the past 2 weeks. While this place is just falling apart. We have got 2 months. 2 months, FJB. We have 2 months before this election stuff pops off full scale here. Time's flying now. And I thought that this was kind of funny. If you guys missed this, they brought out this prop. I mean, it's comical. This shows you what's going on. This tiny little desk they put Biden in. I mean, like, it's like a kid's desk. This miniature, tiny little desk. It's like they're really trying to make him look like a fool, like a buffoon here. But it's starting to be like, okay, this is them doing that, and you gotta see this. They did this. They designed all this. They put the desk there. They chose it, the size, the look, all of it. They're doing all of this on purpose. Okay? Well, now, I don't think that Biden's going to be in jail in a few weeks. They won't even impeach him right now. They're just going to let him get out of this. The establishment ain't going to do nothing. They're going to say he's so old and senile. At this point, they're going to say he's so falling apart that it's not even worth. They're going to like give him that pass. Okay? I don't see him doing anything to him. Him going to jail? No way. Trump didn't even put Hillary in prison. Matter of fact, he didn't even try. He didn't even try. Okay? I don't hear that. I'm not stupid. I recall living through the whole thing. And trust me, unlike most people that are out there, just whatever, I was out there during all this. All the political events, all the crap, all the Hillary stuff, all of it. Hillary for prison, shirts being... Yeah, he did last time. Life was better under him. And there goes a buffer. Go through and check some settings after the stream. It's only the second time, though, the stream it's happened. Wait for some people to bitch about it in the chat and then say we're back. I'm just not sure how far back it kicks it sometimes. Yeah, so I just wanted to point that one out. All right, thank you, Justin. Sometimes it doesn't buffer out bad, but mount up. Yeah, and thank you for the feedback. Everybody there, rather quickly. So at least you're not lagging behind too far at all. All right, so Amazon in their Alexa have been busted for biased treatment here. And basically, I'm going to play this clip, if you guys haven't seen. This is it being biased. You want to talk Google and any of these places rigging results and being biased? Well, this is as biased as it gets. When you ask about two people, the two main people running for the presidency, and it refuses to tell you something on one, but will go into all this lavish detail about the other, it's rather obvious something is going on, and it's not righteous. It should be fair, man. At least make it fair, but like, if it was fair, then you would see that Trump at this point would win by a landslide. It's just obvious. He packs stadiums, and you got to be living under a rock not to see it.
Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a strong candidate with a proven track record of accomplishment. As the first female vice president, Harris has already broken down a major gender barrier, and her career in politics has been characterized by a commitment to progressive ideals and a focus on helping disenfranchised communities.
That is crazy. Yeah, I ban Alexa too. I don't care. Anywhere I go, if we go to a hotel, if we go to Airbnb, if we go anywhere, and I see that thing, they're lucky it didn't go in the trash. The last time we were in Tennessee and we stayed at a place, they had one set up, and it was the first thing I did was disconnected the damn thing. But as I told you earlier, your own phone is doing more snitching on you than anything. Your own phone, your own devices. I just told you earlier, Cox Media Group is spying through everybody, through all these devices. And don't get it twisted, they're all doing it. So, not a surprise, yeah, Alexa is giving biased information. That's because all AI has to be trained. Okay? Just like any person, you have to be taught. So the AI has to be taught, and it's taught through these algorithms, and it's the information that you feed it, just like a human, which results in the type of outcome that you're going to get from it. If you want to raise someone racist or biased in something, they're going to be that way. Same thing here. If you train the AI to be a certain way, it's going to be that way. And that's exactly what we're seeing. So that's all the AI is. It's higher technology and a faster pace of speed, but still it has to be trained. It's not like its own. Out the box, it's not like it's its own consciousness, its own. But I will say, it seems, just as Elon has told you, they're trying to contact the demon. I think that that's what this whole thing is about. I think that they are trying to take the conscious entity of the beast and let it live through technology. Almost like Frankenstein. Do you understand me? Do you hear me? Let the jinn plug in. They can then speak through it. And I always see this like being the Wizard of Oz, the wizard. Not the little guy behind the curtain, but what they show you is the wizard. The big faith, the great and powerful Oz. That as being AI. That this entity speaking. The demon speaking from the other side. Seeing it clearly. Giving orders and commands. That's what this is, man. And we've known this forever. Even CERN told us as much. They admitted they were trying to fold the next dimension into this one. And of course, we know what Jack Parsons and the crew and everybody did when they ripped a hole open and they let a demon in. Aleister Crowley and all them. They did this. This is documented. It was facts. They did this. The jinn and the spirit world and all this is very real. And this is what they worship. Matter of fact, most of your problems come from the fact that you're blind to the magic. And it's only when you have the eyes to see that it stops working on you. Do you understand? Because it's all black magic. It truly is. Sigils, subliminals being used on you left and right. All day, every day. Everything you see, read, hear, the music that you hear, even it played backwards, the subliminals. There sure is. But man, you've got to really be open-minded and want to seek this knowledge to catch most of this. Because the everyday person is going to go right over their head. And I could even tell them right now, and they just don't care, or they won't get it. They won't absorb it. Anyhow, that's where we're at. This brings me to another interesting article. I tell you about the shills out here all the time. And you got to know who they are. People ask me, are you cool with this person? You cool with that? I'm cool with no one. Like, I'm cool with very few. Maybe those that you see around me, you know what I'm saying? That's been around a long time. Like, those are the cats that have proven themselves to be true, righteous, real, a good friend, and someone that you can trust. Someone that's not going to sell you out and backstab you. Okay? I've come across some of the biggest names in the game when it comes to social media and all this out there. I've seen them. I've met them almost all, it seems. The guys you see on the screen, I've seen them all in the street, ran right next to them in chaotic events, or just seen them at other events, here in a Tim Pool specifically here. And I'm not trying to turn this into an attack on anyone because their actions speak for themselves. As God says, you will know them by their fruits. Real truthers out here don't get $1,000 off, $100,000 offers. Don't get paid in Bitcoin 50K. Don't get big contracts to make 100K per video. Don't get millions of dollars from no one. Even if there's good guys that are millionaires, they're not over here paying out the righteous truthers like this. Ain't happening. Just isn't. They're nowhere to be seen. It's fight for yourself. It's like the people out there, you guys, are the only thing that keeps the real truth alive. People like me, I'm telling you. And I've watched others die and fade away, sadly, even people around me. People I like to watch because the support's not there, and it's sad, it sucks. In the meantime, you've got shells step up to the plate, and they're getting paid millies. Millies. And you wonder why they got the biggest podcast. How can right-leaning or conservative type of individuals in their podcast thrive at a time like this of censorship and of the Biden regime when the rest of us are getting pummeled and hidden and everything? How? I think you know how. Because you're part of the club. And that's part of the problem. That's why you got the biggest podcast out there. That's why. Now does it all make sense? Everyday Joes, real truthers, do not get this type of treatment. You get the exact opposite. They want to kill you off. Remove you. Demonetize you. Throw you in a jail cell. Just kill you. I've gone to places that some of these guys would not go. Milwaukee. Tim Pool went up in there, disrespected. And I'm not trying to attack him. I'm just speaking history and facts. He got rocked because he went up in there just blasting his camp, doing whatever he wanted up in other people's hoods, up in other people's stuff, not respecting it. And then they knocked him. They rocked him. Knocked the cap off his bald head. And when they did, he got pissed and whiny and said, don't go in there. No white people can go in there. That right there was my call sign. It's like, oh yeah? Like, let's show you how it's done. And I did. Went up there. I hollered out at Connections the best I could, and welcome to the underground seeking truth. Just so happened that we had real recognized real. I had the realest cat up there, Frank Nitty from the streets, watching the stream, and was like, I got you. Like, I got you. Come with me. And when I got there, it was the same code as it is in any hood. I guess he just didn't realize that. He doesn't know how the hood operates or anything like that in the streets. You got to check in some of these places. You got to get a pass to go into certain areas, or you will get greenlit to get hit. And you can't just run up in there doing whatever. And you have to understand this. You have to respect it. And he didn't have none of that, so he got bounced out. Okay, that's the end of that story. See, when you respect the game, I went up in there, I didn't shoot any film for hours. But when it was time, the sun set, hundreds and hundreds of people inside this park. All this stuff going down, a lot of crazy energy. You start hearing Dabu, Dabu. And this Frank Nitti. And Frank Nitty's like Jordan up there in the streets. They're like, get up here. So I get up there and they're like, roll them cameras. And I rolled them cameras. And I live streamed. And I let the world hear what they wanted to say. But I did it under their rules. And I respected their game. You see what I'm saying? You can't just run in somewhere and disrespect like that. You're going to get bounced out. And that's what I saw happen with them. Not to mention half these cats. I went up and tried to shake their hands in the street several times, and they snubbed me. They just looked at me. I'm just like, you know what, dude? Like where I'm from, I follow that with a 1-2 usually. So they're lucky, but I looked up to some of these guys, live streaming wise, just to come to find out that they're not what I thought. Sometimes you learn the hard way, but I'm here to tell you the real. I've seen Tim Pool in the streets, Luke Rudowski's many times, and I'm cool with Luke. I mean, these guys got a podcast together, and they're like night and day to me. In terms of respect, like I run the streets with Luke. I even at that last gun convention, we stayed in the same hotel. He rode down with me in my car. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got a respect for each other. But like, Tim's the opposite. Like I see him, he'll throw his nose up, and it's just it's like, what did I ever do to you? But like, that's just how some people that are in the club are. They get eaten alive, is how I see it from the inside. And like when they see people like you, they wish that they could be free. Or it's almost like the person that sold their soul is how I see it. They look at you knowing that you haven't, and they're like, hold on. You're achieving this and that by not, and I've sold my soul I've lost it all basically just for this money and fame, and it's still not good enough for them. It starts to wear off rather quickly. A lot of them find that out. Selling their soul wasn't worth it. Why else do you think they're getting paid millions? Huh? Would you get anything close to this? Would anyone out there? Again, someone like me that's been doing this for decades, for like a long time, would I ever get an offer like this? No. Only way it comes is if you're part of the club. Do you understand? That's how I see it. So let's jump into the migrant stuff. This big live skilled migrant workers coming here, that we need them. If you missed it, the Biden administration tried to say that the reason that you need all these people coming in here is because we don't have enough people to work the jobs. That we're at a deficit. That's what they were trying to say. That we don't have enough people out here willing to work, Americans, to cover these jobs. We're at a deficit. Well, they lied about all these numbers. And since then, we have found out that at least 819,000 jobs that they said was originally there, they took credit for, doesn't exist or never existed. It was all a flat out lie. And now it's known. Are people protesting about this in the streets, any of that good stuff? No. But it's the truth. It's the replacement, man, is what this is. This is the great replacement. Don't you get it twisted or see it any other way. You're just now starting to see it rear its head. And see here, we're coming up on top of the hour. I've got about a handful or so of articles connected to this, and we'll end on this here tonight. Let's take it back to this whole Colorado thing. I showed you on the last stream that things are not what they seem. Again, that it seems that people have gone there on the ground. I've watched people go there on the ground to the exact apartment building where the Venezuelan guys apparently were taking over everything, and they were not there. Were they there? Yes. Obviously, you saw the video. It happened. This was a Venezuelan gang that came in to do something. But dude, there's gangs and activity and stuff like that all across this country every single day, if you don't know. But they highlighted this one. And then they gave it to Elon and Trump, and he highlighted it at his rally, and everyone did, and put all this attention to it. And next thing you know, attached to the back of it was Hell's Angels are on the way, which all of it was being stitched together. And that was fake. That was a lie because they never showed up. That was not, it never happened. It was old footage. So people, you're getting led by the nose here by someone that's crafting this stuff out there. And when you go and you look at MSNBC, I find today that they're like, well, conservative leading media outlets and politicians are pushing the story that this place is taken over by. And it wasn't. And what they're doing is they're making conservative outlets and these politicians look stupid now. They're actually making them look like liars. Because everyday people, YouTubers and everything else are going there. Walking in there, using translators even, and talking to the people there. Asking, is Trinidad Aragua here? And all this. I'm like, no, gangs are here. Shootings happen. Crazy stuff goes down. But it's not that. It's manipulation. Dude, every one of them are saying it. It's manipulation. It's twisted fake news, basically. It's twisted to push a narrative. Dude, that's pretty big, don't you think? Don't you think? See, that's what it's all about. Getting people on the ground to find the truth. And that's what they did. I salute that. It's not always what you're expecting or what you want to hear or see, but we got it. We found out that it was all manipulation with this whole thing. So then we hear from the tenants there. Here, I'm going to play this clip. We're going to go extended tonight, guys. We're going past the top of the hour. For anyone that, I know I said we're probably bailing out here in a matter of minutes, but it looks like I'm going to go past the top of the hour. So much love to anyone that's got to bail. Thanks for being with us here tonight, but I am going extended. I got too much to talk about and cover here. Got to get this out there. So I'm going to play this clip real quick and then give some more thoughts on this and dive into several more stories connected to this.
Conservative media and politicians say their apartment building's been taken over by a Venezuelan gang. Aurora police say that's not true. And the people living there gathered today to say their biggest challenge is their landlord. That area of Northwest Aurora has long struggled with crime and poverty. Today, our Evan Krugel went to the building where neighbors say the political fury has added a new problem for folks who have plenty of them already.
And I'm not going to play this whole news clip. I just wanted you to hear and to see right there. The locals, they're at that building, right there standing in front of it. And all these people are pissed. And they're saying what it's doing is it's making them look bad. And like, say they are Venezuelan. All this talk's going on about Venezuelan gangs. It's making the Venezuelans that live there, everyday people, fear for their life. Which, in a sense, is slightly understandable. Because all this attention is being put. But I'm going to say this. If there's anything illegal going on, it doesn't matter. And if them being there is illegal, well, it doesn't matter. That we should shed the light on all the illegal activity. First off, why don't they just stop and get a raise of hands one time? And I'm serious. Oh, I wish I was there. A raise of hands one time and say, hey, who's illegal, who's not? Huh? And to see how many people raise their hand, how many illegals are standing in front of you. That's a start. Then you could see what you're dealing with, who you're dealing with. That would be interesting in its own right, just to see the percentages. How many is legal, illegal, in what? Because I tell you, with these gangs out here that are coming in, it's more than just a Venezuelan thing. I mean, you got Chilean gangs, Ecuadorian gangs, African gangs. You got them from all over, and you know this. We haven't even begun to see the Chinese make their moves. All the stuff we're seeing now, I've been telling you for weeks and months. They're waiting for a bat signal. They're waiting for a bat signal. They're waiting for a signal to say, hey, it's time to come out the shadows and make a move. That's what I fear this is. Okay? Why? Because we've just proven this whole thing was manipulated. Did we not? We sure did. And you know it. This whole thing has been handcrafted, manipulated all the way down to the biker gangs. It didn't happen. Are you still with me? Okay? So much so. Let's go down to Dallas. A huge migrant gang beats the crap out of this white dude, almost kills him. And this is happening out there. So let's not get it twisted. This is an event that did happen. There's video to back it. Okay, so when there's events that happen that are supposed to be crazy like this, and there's no video and there's tons of people around, it becomes questionable. Like this next one. We hear that this 911 call alleges, at least they use that 32, and who had the time to sit there and count heads? This is where you really start to because I've been in crazy situations. I've been in all types of stuff. And I'm telling you, who's stopping and counting heads in a crazy situation, an exact count of who is nobody in a hairy situation. It just ain't happening. You could later recall and say, oh, I don't know, maybe dozens in this neighborhood, when no one's sitting there counting an exact number of heads. But that's what we get here, and it's just highly suspicious. Anyhow, they say, again, it's Venezuelan gangs, and it drops right on the heels of the rest of this news. And I'm like, hold on, here we go again. It feels like someone's crafting something. It seems like, who could be doing this? Well, who other than the mainstream media and their backers, your government, that control them and everything that they do. Well, why would they be doing this now? Huh? Why would they be doing this now? They, to me, are sending out the signal, is what this is, to all the others to get ready. It's time. This is the bat signal that I've been warning about. Because this is it. Why would they be doing this? All of this is like crafted. And you know it. You know it. It's all right there. So why would they be crafting all this? It's go time. Do you understand? And yes, it is sorcery and black magic. And funny you say that. We're going to end this stream tonight hitting on just that. Because it's what it all leads back to. They're all witches and warlocks. So, that's Chicago. And this alleged that all these gang members overran an apartment. Okay? The police response time they said was over an hour. Okay? Is there footage of this? There's a 911 call. Is there anyone there on the ground again? So this is what I got to say. If anyone's down there that can hear me. If you're down there outside of these buildings in Chicago where this is said to have gone down, please let us know the truth of what's happening. Okay? Because the brothers from the streets down there don't play no games. Right? The gangs in Chicago are like, when it comes worldwide, they are of the deadliest. Okay? Chicago gangs are known. East Coast, West Coast, the Chicago gangs are just different. They're bred different. They're all over. There's a lot of them. And you just never know who's riding with who's not. And it's deadly. It's just flat out deadly. Do you understand that? And you know it. Every week I'm reporting on it. The numbers in Chicago all the time. Deadly. Among the highest, if not the highest. Okay? So, when you've got, as I've told you before, the gang members that hold down their block, which kill other people to protect their block. What is a migrant? It's just another person. They don't care. You're an invader. You're invading their space. And this is the one place in America where actually someone stands up and defends their turf in this instance. Tooth and nail. And it's going to be a powder keg. At some point, it's going to have to be. Well, let me just let them speak for themselves here. Let me let the guy from the streets of Chicago just give you the warning. See, I think it's this one.
In the building.
No, it's not that one. That is the wrong one. Thank you, someone. Pittsburgh Pete coming in with all the coffees. Crazy. Thank you for the love. Man. Man, big time. Thank you for the love. Here it is. I'm gonna run this. Man, Pittsburgh Pete, thank you. I can't thank you enough, man, for all the support. For real. Might as well throw a refresh on this. And hit play. Here we go.
This is the warning. If you ain't on no bullshit, stay neutral. Somebody please translate. Stay neutral. If you know somebody that's in your building on bullshit, don't let them run in that building, and don't let nobody see them run in that building. Because once word get out that that's the building that they in, they gonna chop that bitch down. Whatever building, the abandoned building y'all occupying and all that shit, yeah, you better get your food and just stay in the house, because they come out doing some bullshit. Y'all gonna regret that. You're gonna really regret that. So, I don't speak Spanish, so somebody need to translate. I hope they got TikTok that translate, I guess. They can kind of make me seem like I'm speaking Spanish. But anyway, take this like a grain of salt if you like. But this ain't Colorado. This ain't Utah. This ain't none of them places. This is just like where you from. The only difference is y'all use a lot of handgun, old revolvers, and machetes and shit. We got switches. We got switches. If you're not familiar with what a switch is, we will show you. We don't really be with all the telling and shit. But we will definitely show you what a switch is. So, again, somebody translate. Yeah. Make this known.
So, that is a brother from the streets of Chicago that's telling you right there, you just heard it, that they got switches. When he means switches, he means Glock switches, which are small devices that can be attached to the rear side of a Glock handgun that converts the pistol into a fully automatic weapon. A zipper. Just, Cannons gifting 5 memberships, man. Brother, thank you to the fullest for doing that. I appreciate that to the fullest, man. Welcome, everybody, to the underground. Yeah, I appreciate that again. My brother, I just now saw that. Anyone that got that. No, it's not Nintendo Switch. When he's talking switches here, he is talking about what I just said. Glock switches, a device that changes how the gun fires. Hi, brother, from the streets of Chicago. What, T. Kerr, is that where you from? Is that where you're at? If we got anybody out there from Chi-Town, check in. I know I've shouted it out many times, but just good to know who's there. And much love to everybody out there checking in from all over the place. Just good to know if you start to see this pop off up there. I mean, hop in this chat, let us know. You know what I'm saying? Like, email me, dabu7@yahoo.com. Here's one for you. I'm going to keep it pushing here. The U.S. Army has been caught. They're saying here, allegedly caught protecting foreign invaders in an NYC hotel. And this is very interesting. Jason Goodman out there, crowdsource the truth. He's been around a while, love him or hate him. this story. He was on it. He noticed outside the Walcott Hotel in NYC that there was U.S. Army personnel. And he rolls up on them and he starts asking them, hold on, what are y'all doing? Like, are y'all protecting this building? Because this building is housing illegal migrants, like migrants. They are kind of like stunned that he's running up on them. And he's like, nah, Posse Comitatus, like, y'all are doing illegal stuff. Well, then they disappeared. When he ends up coming back up, seeing they were gone, and then does another, comes back up again, and then catches two more guys there and confronts them. And says, hold up, dude. Like, y'all are being used to do policing duties, which is against the law, which is on the books for what the military can do here in the United States. So, basically, his point is that they shouldn't be doing this, and I agree here. Why is our military, in any fashion, I mean, they should have hired security guards out there or something, not our military, guarding this building that's housing illegals. If anything, they should be there, you would think, in the right frame of mind, in a righteous world, that our military that's here to protect us would be working to get the individuals out of the building and out of here and relocated down to the border and back out. But do we ever see that? Do we? Do we ever see that? It's Gwendolyn from KY. Hey, thank you for the coffees. Much love. And, man, there's a whole lot more KY cats been tuning into the stream. Much love, wherever you're at out there. Tonight, may the Most High bless you if you call upon Him. And do know that we are entering crazy times. We are there. Again, man, much love, Pittsburgh Pete, on those coffees, man. And Gwendolyn, much love. Check this one out. I'm not done yet. Extended show tonight, but it's because we've got things we got to cover here, man. But we're staying on the border horror, so to speak. Did you hear about this one? An illegal alien arrested after attacking a man in Tennessee with a pickaxe. The victim found with the pickaxe embedded in his skull. So this illegal in here this is crazy. The person found in bed with this. Someone, thank you for the 10 coffees. Again, Pittsburgh Pete, man, just killing it, man. Appreciate that to the fullest. But these stories of migrants is just insane. It's left and right. I mean, just this past year, all the girls that were kidnapped, that were killed, that we reported on. All these events that are now happening here just within the past freaking week. Something's happened. There's a ramp up in this. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The bat signal has been given. This stuff has begun. I was telling you before, when crazy events start to pop off, and my words were like, if they're cutting off hits in the street or like crazy stuff starts to pop off, well, dude, we're there. Pickaxes in the forehead, all this other stuff. Psst, it's good enough that for me, all this migrant stuff all over the place that's being pushed, it's being manipulated, and you know it. And look at this. 75% of the Midtown NYC arrests are illegals. So, prosecutor up there is saying that these pathetic sanctuary city laws are to blame. And I mean, there's a map right here. You can see. We'll zoom in a little bit. It's crazy in this country. Why it took them all away. Get an update. You can see the whole West Coast is a sanctuary state. Do you see this? Washington, Oregon, San Francisco, Utah. That may surprise some people. They say that one flies under the radar. Colorado. All those states are full-fledged sanctuary states. You don't see that in Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri. Like South Carolina, it's not a state, but it's got some counties, is what you see. Or a city. The red ones would be a city. And you can see that there's certain pockets. Like, look at this in New Mexico. All these counties they've pocketed in. But, I mean, you can't ignore it that the states next to them here, the entire state is a sanctuary state. Even North Dakota, Illinois, as we were talking about earlier, Pennsylvania, New York, all those places, the whole state is. But places where the state's not, you've got to watch out. Look at New Mexico. We got to OBS disconnect and reconnect. Louisville is the big city that it's always the one. Anytime I've gone to any BLM stuff, like where they shot themselves up there when I filmed it, all that stuff, any protest or anything, like when I was up there and they were burning down the city last time and I was live. That's all happens in Louisville. So you can see that's where the chaos happens here in my state. You don't see none of it in Lexington or anything like that or any other place. There's 4 other counties here that have set up like an office for this, but that's 4 other counties. When you get down here into the mountains, where you can see this line right here, Daniel Boone National Forest and everything east of that, well, obviously, the whole southern part of the state and eastern part, there's none. It's not till you get down here that you see all these dots and you're like, what the hell's going on here? That is right on the other side of the border of my state. So all through Appalachia, down here in the mountains, there ain't none of that going down. But when you get right across the border into where? Virginia. All these counties pop up that would allow, but scroll over, look at Virginia. Virginia's just inundated. All these counties allowing illegals to come in. So you can see Maryland's heavy with it, Pennsylvania, New York, heavy. Even though it's a state, it's got mad counties here listed. And then, of course, New York City. Did you know all of Connecticut, all of Rhode Island, all of Massachusetts, all of Vermont, they are sanctuary states, man. It's one thing to have a city or a couple counties in your state, but to have the entire thing labeled that, it's like these invaders can go anywhere in your state. And I'm going to end here tonight with this. This shows you where we're at here in this country. And I pray to the Most High in heaven, Jesus Shua. Man, this is a true battle of spiritual wickedness is how I see it. With jinn, the evil, everything going on here, they've proven it to me. They're witches through and through, and this is just one instance where I want to show you. I tell you all the time it's one big club, and I've shown you Skull and Bones, giving you the examples. You know Harvard and Yale are heavy in this. Well, check this out. Yale divinity students forced to read a witch's spell at orientation. So this is open now. This isn't the hidden behind the curtain, skull and bones, lay in the coffin, do all this crazy stuff. We're going to keep it a secret and blackmail you with it. No, this is in the open on and during orientation. They have got them reciting together as a class from witches' spells. This is where we are at. So, again, we wrestle not against flesh, but spiritual wickedness in high places, and it's real. It is very real. These people cast circles. They connect with the jinn. They exchange information for favors on both sides. And it runs deep. There's all kinds of different religions and ways that they do it, but it's all the same. They are connecting with the jinn on the other side. It's all demonic, whatever, however you want to put it. It's evil. Okay? They're not doing it the righteous way. If you don't know, it's all been laid out. If you're lacking that knowledge, there's a way to communicate through the Spirit in the spirit realm, and it's through the Holy Spirit to do it righteously. The true, righteous Holy Spirit. The opposite way is to cast a circle. And within that circle, inscribe the name and the images and the sigils of the name of the jinn or the being or the entity that you're trying to contact. And this opens a gate. And this is all done in dark energy. And you're warned not to do it. Same thing that goes on with your Ouija board. That's not grandma on the other side, dude. You might as well see them as gremlins. These jinn sitting on the other side doing this. And they are given powers to do these things. And you were not kept in the dark about this. If you look up any of the information, it tells you this. We're being tempted by all them. These jinn and these demons are being allowed to do this. They actually go to God and say, hey, this guy did this, that, let me do this to tempt him. And God often in the scripture agrees. Can't you see where we are at? We are in a proving ground. Nothing but temptation. You are to overcome everything around you and to master it if you want out of here. You have to walk righteous. You have to come in the name of love and energy, in righteous energy, or you will not get out. And you cannot, that's the thing here. The bad guys cannot trick their way out. They cannot do anything to trick their way out. You can only do it by righteous energy. You have to walk it. You have to live it. You have to create it through your actions, the frequency, all of it. You can only do it by doing it. So if you're living evil, you can't cheat the system. You can't get through. You can't break through. You're a soul in a vessel. This is a short trip. I'm sure you want to extend this journey. And to do so, in a greater vessel, in a better place, to do so, you have to get out of here. Pray every day. Walk righteous. Intermittent fasting helps, I'm telling you. Be good. Walk righteous in the things you do. To the fullest. Counter this evil. You know, when it comes down to it, the Lord said, if you have a cloak, sell it and buy a sword. Do not get it twisted. And stop making excuses. And when the Most High that I know returns, as promised, he didn't say he's coming back to have a little party and to do this and that. No, he's coming back with the sword. It is written, so don't twist it. That's what's coming. See, I'm afraid of it. I can't wait till the fire comes and smokes these tears and all the evil that's here. I'll gladly cough up this body. Long as my soul energy lives on, all energy lives on. So you're going to let them capture your soul and regurgitate it. Or you're going to break free at this place? That's the question. Don't fall into the traps. He's coming back with the wrath, for sure. And it'll be judgment of all soul. Then, if you pass this test, you go on to something greater, which is what I look forward to. Truly, with 1,000-year life with all great people, not a bunch of scum, not a bunch of backstabbers, two-faced demons in the flesh, here ready to screw you over left and right. But no, with those hard-to-find righteous ones like all of you. Many of you I'll never get a chance to even meet in this life, which is a shame. I will see you on the other side. If you're looking for more information on this, man, if you seek, you will find. I love you guys. We're going to call it a night. Take us out of here on that note. I had cats ripping by me, about tore the house down. I want to thank everybody that came in here tonight to be with us for the stream. I ask that the Most High bless all of you that call upon Him. You have to believe. It's half the battle. Remember, you speak all these things into existence. It's real. Don't you ever forget it. We were shown this out of your basic instructions before leaving Earth, out of your Bible. It is coded, and I'm going to show you this. It begins. I've given you teasers before, but it's about to go full force. I'm about to show you some things that have been hidden. And it's going to amaze a lot of you. Anyhow, I'll take us out here for the night. Much love. God bless. Call upon the Most High, man. Walk righteous. Way out. I thank all of you for your support. And hopefully, I get to see some of you in the flesh before it's all said and done. Keep the hope alive. I thank you, everybody out there on X, on Facebook, D-Live, YouTube. Look to be back Friday for the next one. Much love. God bless. Thank you, Eon. Always coming in. Them 7 coffees. Much love. Want to give a shout out to all the mods. Much love, Steve. See you sliding there. Much love for all the info. Real J, D, Cat, Ethan, Uncommon. Thank you all. See you guys.